Hello my friends, welcome back to another video. So here's one of the pieces that we resined in the last video. I'm going to show you. These beautiful colors and how that resin just makes them shine gloriously. Hold on. There we go. Keep watching. Sorry about the tree in there. That's resin for you. Keep watching. So this piece is available. And in my Etsy shop, the link is in the description. Along with this one right here. Sorry for the noise. The sun really helps with the filming of these pieces, especially when there's resin on them. Even though there's a glare, the sun really helps light them up. It's just so hard for me to show you on film just how beautiful these pieces are. Oh yeah, there you go. It's a really pretty piece. It's electrifying. So we have this one here. That's on wood round. This one also on a wood round. I'm just showing you the interference colors first here, and then we'll do just this view here. And this was a Dutch pour that we resined, just a regular Dutch pour with regular paints. It's got some copper in there. And then one more. And then we had this Dutch pour here that we did last week. Now this was the Dutch pour I did using primary elements mixed with Floetrol gel or enamel, glue and water. The test that I did, look how beautiful it stayed. So that recipe definitely works for primary elements. And a few people asked me if regular micas would mix in, and I am going to test that out in today's video for you to see if they will mix into that recipe. But just tilt this around a little bit here so you can see how beautiful she is. Now let me give you a really quick comparison. People always ask, what's the difference between resin and not using resin, like doing a varnish? Here is Purple Passion. We did it this week and it's dry now. And I haven't resined it or anything. So you can see, you know, it dried. There's no shine really. Okay. But what happens is once you put that resin on, it turns into this. See how magnified that is? This piece right here looked just like this one, textured and just like caca. So that resin puts that glass-like finish on there. And the difference with varnish is varnish will make this very shiny, but it doesn't have that hard coat on top. So it's all personal preference. I just like this better. And I feel like it protects the painting too, because you're sealing it in this thick substance that, I mean, should last forever if you get a good quality resin. Okay? So let's start the video. I'm excited. Okay, my friends, I am truly, truly excited about this. So what I am going to teach you today is how to do a stacked puddle swipe. Yes, you heard correct. A stacked puddle swipe. I'm going to show you how to lay down the colors. Now you'll notice that I have two versions of each color of the rainbow. I have two purples, a dark and a light, two blues, a green, yellow, orange, red. Now let me just show you the colors that I'm using really quick to get that out of the way. For the purples, I have Brilliant Purple and Dioxazine Purple. Then I have, for the blues, Primary Blue and Iridescent Blue Green from Pebeo, so Liquitex Pebeo. For my greens, I have Liquitex Basics Light Green Permanent and Pebeo's Iridescent Green Yellow. For my yellows, yes, I'm chucking my paints. For my yellows, I have Primary Yellow and Lemon Yellow. This one is by Artscape, My Artscape. We won't chuck that one. Don't want the jar blowing up on me. For the oranges, we have Iridescent Orange Yellow and My Artscape Orange Yellow, but they're two different shades, and this is a iridescent, so it's a shimmer. And then for the reds, we have Crimson and Scarlet. This Crimson's Artist Loft, My Artscape for the Scarlet. So before I go any further, a few of you have asked me, I made a video showing you how to use primary elements with Floetrol a few videos back. I will link it at the end of this video, but a few of you asked me, will this recipe that I came up with for this work for Pearl-Ex or regular mica powders? We are going to test that at the end of this video so that anybody that doesn't want to see this doesn't have to watch. Okay, so first off, I have all of my colors mixed with paint and water only. My white, which is Galleria, water only. Everything, paint and water only. There is no Floetrol, no pouring medium, no silicone, no nothing, okay? In these colors here. This white here, I reserved a little bit. I poured some into a separate cup, and into this one cup only, I added a little bit of Floetrol. So this, I believe, is a 5-ounce cup. So we're going to say this is 3 ounces of paint and water that I took from this cup, and I added in a tablespoon of Floetrol. So that's the only one. The swiping white has the Floetrol, everything else paint and water. Why did I do that? Well, I've learned with doing the bloom technique, which this is not the bloom technique, this is just a swipe. I've learned that the secret to that technique is controlling where your Floetrol is to control where your cells are, okay? So because we don't put Floetrol in all the colors, even with the bloom, you're not going to get cells out of these colors. You're only going to get it where you put that white paint. So that's why you see with the bloom, you get those nice cells just in the center. So that's what we're going to do with this stacked puddle swipe, okay? I'm going to move these paints over to the side here, and I'm going to show you how I mixed one of them up. So I had mixed all the colors of the rainbow, and I want to have one metallic in there, so I'm going to do a gold. This is by Pebeo, Iridescent Precious Gold. I do have these in my Amazon shop. Not every single color, but at least 1 or 2 to get you there. And then you can look at the colors they offer. So all I did was I put some paint in the cup. Okay, so about a tablespoon of paint. And then I slowly added my water a little bit at a time. Do not add it all at once. A, your paint will clump up on you, and it'll be a nightmare to get it unclumped. And B, you can add too much water, and it could be too thin. So You want to add a few drops at a time. And by the way, if you're doing it on a canvas like I am and you drip water, do not leave that there. Wipe it off because it will interfere with your paint once it's on the canvas. You shouldn't mix paints on a canvas like I am, but I'm limited for room. So you're just going to keep adding your water until you get to the proper consistency, which is like so. Okay, flows off in a steady stream. It forms a mound, but then immediately disappears. That's the consistency you're looking for. So I'm going to continue to do this, and I'll be right back. Okay, so here we go. Perfect. You're going to need different size pieces of paper. Now I save the wrappings from my canvases or art supplies or packaging, whatever, and I just cut them into little strips of paper of different sizes. Okay, and we're gonna start. So first thing you're going to do is put down your white paint that only has water in it, not the one that has the Floetrol in it. Now, when you're working with paint that's only mixed with water, it's best to mix ahead of time to avoid a ton of air bubbles. This way, if you do it ahead of time, you'll be able to let it sit and you'll be able to, you won't have as many air bubbles. I see I got some lumps and bumps I'll be picking out here, so I'll have to pause you while I do that, but just tilt your paint around on your canvas until you get it. Wow, look at those big bumps. I'm at the bottom of my bottle. I'm running out of heavy body white paint here. Hold on. Okay, so I got my white paint down and I'm going to torch it really quick. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to start putting my puddles down and I'm going to stack them. I'm going to do a few colors with you and then on real time, and then I'll fast forward for the rest. So I'm going to start out with a little dab of gold right in the center. And I'm not going to pour a puddle per se. I'm going to pour an oblong type of puddle. So not your typical round circle puddle. And then what I'm going to do is this with each color group. I am going to put down the darker first, right on overlapping the last color. So that would be the gold. Okay. And then the lighter color right on top of that. Just like so. Having the dark underneath will give you some depth. Excuse me. So now that I put my purples down, I'm going to put a little tiny bit of gold. Just like so. And then I'm going to come in with my blue. So when I'm laying down the next color, I'm not covering the entire next color. I'm overlapping it, if that makes sense. That's why I'm calling this a stacked puddle swipe. And here's my lighter blue. Okay, and I'm going to try to pour so that they're kind of the same width, so that when we swipe, it won't be that off. So here's a little gold to separate the next group. And then I'm going to do the greens. And I'm going to repeat this process until the entire canvas is covered. Not covered until I have a center area here full of color. Okay. And then gold again. Right, so I'm going to put you on time lapse for this part so it doesn't take so long, but you get the gist of it now. Okay, so I put all my colors down and we are ready to start swiping. But the first thing we need to do before we swipe is we need to torch and we need to add our white paint that has the Floetrol in it, or else, you know, you may get a little bit of cells, but nowhere near the amount of cells you'll get with that white with the Floetrol in it. Okay, so just grab this piece of junk out of there. So here is our white with the Floetrol, and what I'm going to do is pour a line of this white right down the center of these paints. Thick enough to be able to swipe in both directions. So you want to be able to grab some white to go towards the top, and you want to have a little reserved to be able to go towards the bottom. So I'll do a couple of swipes with you just so you can see, and then I will put you back on time lapse. You know, some things are just repetitive, so it's good to be able to zip through some of the stuff. So you want to grab your card or whatever you're swiping with, grab half of the width of that white paint and pull it down over your colors. Okay. Beautiful. Then we can go upwards. If you like. We could go sideways. You can go whatever way you want. You can, let's see here, whatever you're swiping with, you can go slowly straight down, and you can lift the corner of your paper to make little drag marks like that. And as a matter of fact, I like that a lot. So I'll probably do my painting like that. Okay. It's all what you want. See how nice that comes out? Like a flame almost. So I'm going to put you on time lapse now, and let's see what I can create with this. So here is my painting, my stacked puddle swipe. Would you look at those cells? Now, paint and water only. That is all there because I controlled where I put the cells using the Floetrol. Oh, got a hair there. I got to get that out. This is going to look absolutely beautiful under resin. So now that I've done this with you guys, I'm going to show you that little experiment. If you're going to tune out now, please check out my Etsy shop. Down below are all the links to Amazon and all my social media sites. We have a Facebook group, United We Pour, with Tammy and Lisa. Come on over and join and have some fun. Share your photos of your artwork. You can share your channel links if you have a channel. We have monthly contests. So come on over, please, and say hi. Okay, and let me just do this experiment quick. Okay, so will regular mica powder mix into my mixture of Floetrol, glue all, either enamel from Color Art or gloss enamel from Liquitex or Golden, and a teaspoon of water. The measurements are for 3 ounces of paint, well, 3 ounces of a homemade medium, 3 ounces of Floetrol, a tablespoon of glue all, a tablespoon of either the enamel or the gloss gel, and a teaspoon of water. And people wanted to know, this is a painting that I did with this recipe where I was able to use the primary elements with Floetrol. Okay, this one right here. People wanted to know, can they use their regular mica powders in this type of pouring? Well, that's the recipe I just gave you that will work with primary elements, and I will show you. Let me not ruin my new painting here. So here's some of the medium in the 1 cup, and here's some of the medium in another cup. Okay, so a regular mica powder would be your Pearl-Ex. Tons of companies sell them. So I'm going to put a little bit of this blue Pearl-Ex into that medium there, that homemade medium. Will it work? Let's see. So I put some of the powder in there. It does dissolve. You gotta beat it quite a lot here. Let's see. I mean, it looks like it's mostly dissolved. Now, will this dry right? Will it flocculate? I don't know. I don't use Pearl-Ex mica powders. There's a big difference between Pearl-Ex and primary elements. So it looks like it dissolved. And the color is pretty close to what it should be. So now let's try the primary elements again, which I know work. You see, these are a mica that has been treated with actual pigment with color, okay? So you take, to explain really quick, you take a mica and a paint, you put them together, and then you get a primary element, okay? That's what the primary elements are. These here are just mica. They don't have the paint in them. So essentially what primary elements is doing for you is you're creating your own metallic looking paints. So let me just put a little bit of this in there. Mixes in right away. Now, you can't use any of these powder type pigments, these powder type products without having a binder. That's why we need a special recipe. And you see how beautiful that is. It dissolved right away. It's the true color. This one here is pretty close to its true color. It may have muted it a tiny bit, but it does blend in. So there's your answer. Give it a try. Let it dry. Let me know how it goes. All right. I love you all, and I will see you very soon. Happy pouring.